It's Scott. In one of our previous Give Me Fives, we went ahead and touched on the idea of how you can quickly give fluids to kids. And we touched on the whole idea that you can hang fluids to gravity, you can run them on a pump, you can add a pressure bag, or if you take a syringe and a stopcock, you can do what's traditionally taught with the push and the pull. However, I want to go ahead and take just a minute and have yet another geek out session and go ahead and quickly touch on a relatively new toy called LifeFlow. Now with that, quick reminder, I do not work for this company. We've just played with it in skills labs that we've coordinated across the country. And in talking to both military and civilian sites that have used this toy, it's something you're probably going to see far much more of for kids and adults in the future. So with that in mind, the whole idea behind LifeFlow is it's best described as the IV squirt gun. So with that in mind, one end just simply goes ahead and gets placed, to no surprise, into your IV tubing. Then we have the squirt gun. And with that, we go ahead, everything comes all pre-prepared. It's got a syringe that is attached to it. Therefore, you go ahead, place this inside. Once it's inside here, clamps down, and you're ready to go. So this part, as we showed, is going to go into the IV bag. This part, to no surprise, is going to hook up to your IV site. And you can give it via IV, or you can give it via intraosseous as well. Either way, it works great. Now, the idea being that you can go ahead and flush your tubing. And the way you flush your tubing in this case is you just simply go ahead and squirt. And now you are ready to hook everything up to your patient once it's all been primed. Now, you notice that inside of here, it's got a 10 cc syringe. And when I first played with this device, I asked the company, I'm like, why didn't you put a 20? I said, because in children, everything is pretty much 20 per kilo, 20 per kilo, 20 per kilo. Would have made life a whole lot easier if you just put a 20 cc syringe. And their reply was, yeah, we tried that, but we actually found that when we looked at the people having to go ahead and squeeze, that it was a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier if they used a 10 versus a 20. So there actually was a method of their madness as to why they went ahead and put a 10 cc syringe. But the idea being, once it's hooked up to your IV or your IO, you can go ahead and squirt. And if you just want to let it refill on its own, it'll go ahead and refill on its own. Or if you want to get fluids even faster, then you can do the technique where you squish, take the back of your fingers and go ahead and actually push it to make it refill faster. But as you can see, you can give an unbelievable amount of fluid, just 10 cc's at a time. Take that one step further, can you use this for blood? And that's a great question, because up until recently, the answer was called maybe. But more importantly, recently, within the last couple of months, it's actually now received FDA approval for blood. So the moral of the story is absolutely you can use it for fluids. And now in your trauma patient, you can use it for blood as well. Put that all together, moral of the story is simple. If you want to give fluids quickly, even in a kid via a 22 gauge IV, you can give fluids 4 times as fast if you go ahead and use the squirt gun versus going ahead and using a pressure bag.